We'll go through in his normal order and then I'll take hands if there's any questions at the end. Adam, if you want to start us off when you're ready, please.
Sam, it looked like the scoreline might have blown out at one point. It didn't. So, what other positives do you take from the performance?
Second half, I think that we, you would probably all think, and rightly so, at half time, how many is it going to be? Because, first half we were defending with spirit, but nowhere near playing in possession anything like we need to get out and get in the opposition's half to relieve a bit of pressure on the constant defending that we had to do. And of course 2 wonderful goals from Manchester City as always, and so we changed half time in terms of not so much the system but just about pushing up the pitch a little bit farther, not sitting as deep as we were, and making sure that our possession became much better than it was. We kept giving the ball back to City and we stopped doing that, and when we stopped doing that we found a few spaces and grew in confidence a little bit, and then we gave a stupid penalty away which would have spoilt the whole second half performance, apart from Joel making what was a wonderful save, and then we go the other end and score, and now the game's on then, isn't it? And Manchester City may, if we'd have played a few balls better from there, may have given us another opportunity, because they were actually showing a bit of nerves at that stage, because when you get Man City playing on the corner flag in the last 5 or 10 minutes, you know that you must still be in with a chance.
How good a look at the players do you think you've had today? Have you learnt something about them? And not least your goalkeeper. It was a big call to make that today. Massive
call. I think that one of the worst things you need to do as a manager going into a new job is take your goalkeeper out if he's your number one, but unfortunately because of the recent performances it's better for him, and even though he won't think that, and better for me to make that decision on his behalf, because no goalie would say, yeah, you can leave me out the team. I have to make that decision, and I have to say, particularly with the penalty save, there's not a lot I can knock Joel's performance with.
And last one for me, Sam. At the end, there was a real sort of display of sort of unity between the fans and the players. Was that something that you've called for, and do you feel, was it something you expected though at the end of the game after where they've been recently?
I expected the fact that we've got to try and keep the fans on board, because it's when they expect so much more than what they're getting, then they're going to continue to solve their disapproval. So we've not given a result today, but by their response to our players shows that our players fought today, and they saw a bit of fight in there, a bit of spirit, which maybe gives them a bit of hope, and we just went over and appreciated their support. That's what we did it for, and threw a few shirts in, and we need them. We're definitely going to need them between now and the end of the season.
Graham.
Hi Sam, that's the most minutes Adam Forshaw's played in a Premier League game since February last year. How do you think he came through it, and how important could he be for you?
Tremendously important, because it's been pointed out to me by coaches, by a lot of the staff at the football club, that midfield has been slightly weak in terms of, particularly in its out of possession work, and I think he's got a lot of experience and know-how. So, and of course I played differently from previous managers by playing 3 in there to support that, which I think helps him. So we just assess everybody on Monday, assess everybody's performance, and see who we feel that is going to go into the Newcastle game. So there may be a few changes next week, who knows, because I put all 5 subs on as well, which was you could say a bit risky, but I think that the amount of energy that they gave, and the times you have to run around against Manchester City without the ball, players tire much quickly with that, so keeping fresh legs on and getting fresh legs on helped the team, but didn't help the result.
What was the mood with the players afterwards? Were they upbeat after the fans gave them
A
that?
little bit. I mean, I'm not upbeat because I've got no points, like I mean, but I am pleased with what they've done in the second half and not embarrassed themselves and showed some fighting spirit, like I mean, you know. So we can build the confidence next week again, and we can build the confidence on the second half performance, and we can play a lot better for 90 minutes next week, not just 45.
Aaron?
Sam, given how close the scoreline was in the end, how much frustration was there that Mahrez was showing in onto his stronger foot on each of those goals twice in a row?
Yeah, well, I haven't seen anybody stop Mahrez going on his stronger foot yet, so if you find him for me, let me know and I'll watch him, but I won't be able to buy him because he'll probably be about 30 million. You can stand on his left foot as much as you like, but if he wants to go on his left foot, he can. Because what he'll do, he'll take it down to his right and then he'll check it back with his right and get it back on his left again. So, you know, that's why most of the time you've got to get two on him.
How did Ilan react when you gave him the news that he wouldn't be playing today?
Not very happy. I didn't expect him to be very happy, but I had to make the decision. It's not a decision you actually want to make as a manager with your number one goalkeeper, but obviously with what we'd watched and what we'd seen and what the staff were saying, I think the rest will do him a power of good.
Thank you. Phil?
Sam, how much do you think your coaching has made an impact over the past 48 hours, 72 hours? How much do you feel it's made a difference to what you saw today?
Well, your style comes into managing a football club. You know, even though my position is head coach, I am a manager and I manage people. Like, it's my biggest strength is making people feel better, making people do better for themselves, for the families, for the football club, for the supporters. It's one of my strengths in terms of man management. That's got nothing to do with coaching. And if you haven't got that skill, you can be all the best coach in the world, and you won't get your team to play better. So there's a lot of coaching can be done by the excellent work that Carl Robinson does, who's an outstanding coach and manager. And of course, even I only got to know him in Soccer Aid. You know, Robbie, unbelievable. Lads love him already. So the combination of all three, along with the staff that are there already, working better and working more diligently to make the team better, will be only our focus. We will not focus on anybody else other than the first team squad to try and get a result next week.
Even though it was 4 games for you, were you always thinking that it would be the 3 after this one that would really influence it?
I can say yes, now it's over. Couldn't say that before. So you know, I mean they are so good, aren't they? Like, I mean, it's just unbelievable, you know. So somebody asked me the other day, is it the best team ever? And it's hard to say no, apart from Man United's treble winners. But you know, I think they have not just the best team. I think they have the 2 best teams with the amount of players that they have.
Stuart?
Sam, given the, I know every team's different, but given the form of Newcastle United, is that second half a blueprint for how you need to approach that game as well?
Yeah, I mean, Newcastle play differently from Manchester City, and I think that's our key element. Our key element is how can we adapt this week to get the right system to play against Newcastle United, like you mean. So our emphasis was to be on counter-attack today. As you know, Manchester City, whether you want to close from the front or not, you can't because they force you back. So Newcastle will have a look at what they do out of possession, what they do in possession, and what system we will play from there, and what players will be available or best to fit in that system.
And what work do you have to do with Meslier now, in case he is needed in the last 3 games?
I think that he just gets on with his job with the goalkeeping coach, and the goalkeeping coach are like fathers today, so he can take all the time he needs with the goalkeeping coach and rebuild his confidence. So when he when he gets the opportunity to come back in, he's back to his brilliant best, you know, because I know how brilliant he is by the times I've watched him on the telly and played against me. So he just that lack of confidence at the minute, like everybody's had. But unfortunately for a goalkeeper, they don't get away with their mistakes, do they?
Okay, now we've got one over here. Is there any more questions? Can I see hands, if that's all right? If not, we'll just take the...
How can you have more questions than them? Where can you dream another one up?
What's it like for you personally to be...
For me?
Yeah, to be spending your Saturday afternoons back in the technical... I mean, your knees are clearly strong.
Well, I'm okay. I have to worry about the wife when I get home because she'll have had the telly switched off and be waiting patiently for the result, like you mean. But she gets more nervous than me. But I'm in control of trying to help. So when the whistle goes, the nerves go, and you stand there and try and use your understanding of the game and experience to help the team get to a result. But to stand in this stadium again with this crowd in this league, the best league in the world, there's an opportunity with this football club, irrespective of where it are at the moment. It's Leeds United. Why would you turn it down?
Yeah, I'm not suggesting I should have done.
No, I know you're not. I'm not suggesting you are.
Do one more.
So just a quick one. Can you see yourself managing into your 70s, which is becoming a trend with Neil Warnock and obviously Roy Hodgson?
I've no idea. I thought I wouldn't be sat here managing today. I've never moved so quickly in my entire life than starting last Monday, and then from last Monday standing in the dugout and watching Leeds play Manchester City with Carl Robinson and Robbie Keane. I mean, it was supposed to be Sam Allardyce, but for the judge. But I'm so lucky that I know Carl, and I know he wasn't working at the time, and he wanted to join me, because without them, without the Sammys and without the Carls and without the Robbies, I can't do the best job I possibly can. All the other staff that are there, I don't really know, but they're professionals and get on with the job. But the amount of combat, we haven't stopped talking for the last 4 days, not just at the training ground, but we've been together all night, every night, plotting, talking, you know, and listening and trying to find the right formulas.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, Sam.
Right.
Thank you.